Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a foundation first impressions on the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation. I picked this up at Priceline at the 40% off sale. I believe it is somewhere around the $20 to $30 mark when it is not on sale. It is a matte and poreless foundation, so it's designed more for the normal to combination or oily skin. I have very dry skin, so it's going to be a very interesting first impressions to see how a foundation that totally will not suit my skin type sits on my skin and how it works and how it wears. So if you want to see what I think about this foundation, just keep on watching. With skincare, as per usual, I've always I did that twice. Alrighty, I'm going to start with skincare as per usual. I've already used my Pond's Hydra Revital toner, which I absolutely love, just to soften my skin. Because the foundation is a little bit more matte and a little bit more for like normal to oily skin, I really want to pop a whole lot of hydration into my more drier skin just to really give the foundation time to sort of work. There is no way that I would ever wear this foundation and not really boost my skin with hydration, just because it's not suited to my skin type. So first I am going to just spray my face with M.A.C Fix Plus. And what that will do is it'll just sort of lay that base of hydration and soften the skin so that all my moisturizers and everything else absorbs really well, and it just lays that base of hydration basically. And then I'm gonna just take my Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Cream. This stuff is amazing. It's a really great hybrid between a serum and a cream. It's really nourishing like a cream, but it's lightweight like a serum. So I'm just taking a little bit of that gel cream and just working it into my skin in circular motions. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of my Neutrogena eye roll on as well, just to really help my concealer sit really nicely. Alrighty, now that my skin's prepped, we are ready to go in with foundation. So I'm using the Mabelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I've got the color 110 Porcelain today. Hopefully it is light enough for me. I have got a little bit of like scabby fake tan on, so if it does sort of show in the video, just ignore it. I am in the process of scrubbing it off to get a fresh tan tomorrow. Basically this foundation is all about being matte and poreless. On the back it says it mattifies and refines pores, matches natural skin tone, natural seamless finish, and the rest is in French. I was going to try and read it for you. I'm not going to try that. It isn't suited to my skin type, but I really wanted to try it because so many people rave about it. So let's just jump right on in and see how it goes. So I hate foundations like that. I hate foundations without a pump or some form of way to get it out, because I feel like you waste so much of it because it sort of coats the sides every time you tip the bottle upside down. So that's my first sort of pick on it. I'm going to pop a little bit on the back of my hand. It does look quite a good color. Like that is what it looks like on my hand. And I think I'm going to start with my Sigma F80 brush just to see how it goes with a brush, but I do have my Chi Chi damp sponge here that I might use in a second just to add a bit of hydration to the application, just because my skin is more dry. So just taking a little bit of that on a brush. Doesn't really have a smell, which I really like about it. I hate when foundations have too much of a smell. Like, I don't mind if they have a foundation-y smell, but it seems like whenever they have a fragrance smell, I just get a headache from them. Like, I don't understand why you would need your foundation to smell good. You know what I mean? Like, it goes on your face and you can put perfume on like a regular person anyway. That pretty much used up all the formula that I had on my hand, which was quite a bit to be honest, and it hasn't done too much to my skin. Like, you can see the difference, but it's not super full coverage or anything like that. Like, it just sort of gives a sheer layer of color to the skin. So I'm going to try it with the sponge and see if that applies it a little bit thicker. Okay, so that's one layer all over my skin. I think the blender did sort of apply it a little bit better. However, it is sort of almost sitting in my pores. Like, I know that it claims to be poreless, but it seems to be definitely sitting in my pores a little bit more. I would try and zoom in and show you. I don't know if you can see sort of like just there, it's sort of sitting in the pores. I'm surprised it's not as full coverage. Like, I thought it was going to be much fuller than it is. Like, you can see I still have a bit of redness here. You can definitely see my freckles there. On my chin, like, there's definitely still redness there showing through. I can already tell that it is very matte. Like, it's pretty much completely dry on my skin already, and I've had it on for a couple of seconds. I am going to build up the coverage because I think it might build quite well, because generally matte foundations do build on top of each other quite well. So I'm going to do that now. I am slightly concerned about, ooh, the amount of foundation I am using. Like, I've used so much of this foundation just to achieve the coverage that I want, which is sort of a bit annoying for me. Like, I feel like even though it is more affordable, like, you shouldn't have to use this much of it to make it work. Do you know what I mean? Like, I definitely thought it was going to be fuller coverage than it is. That's all I'm saying. See, right now it is just sitting on the top of my skin. Like, it is not working into my skin at all. I'm swapping to a brush just to see if I can sort of make it look a little bit more natural. I'm definitely losing a lot of coverage when I do this, but at the moment it is just sitting not good on my skin. Oh my god, like, this is really, really bad. Like, I don't know if you can see here, but see how it's just sitting, like, all, there's nothing I can do to make that area look better. Like, I've buffed it, I have, like, pressed it in with my beauty blender. Like, it is just sitting on my skin so thick and like chunky, and so far I am not at all a fan, like, not at all. Okay, so at the moment definitely a sponge is better, but you do have to really like pound it into my skin to make it not look thick and streaky and like it's sticking to every single hair and pore that I have. Okay, I've managed to make it sit okay. It's still not a lot of coverage. Like, I really couldn't build it up because it was just moving around on my skin. Like, it just really would not build on my skin without looking streaky and cakey. As I said before, like, it is the wrong, completely wrong formula for my skin type, but I definitely wanted to try it just to see. Even though I put so much hydration into my skin beforehand, I still feel like it just isn't gonna work. I'm definitely gonna give it a go for the rest of the day though, but like, at the moment, if I was going somewhere special, I would just remove it. Like, I wouldn't even try and work with it at this stage. But let's go ahead and do concealer and everything like that, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna stay with the Maybelline trend and use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer just so that hopefully they work well together. I am using the color, I think it's 15, yeah, 15 Fair. I have used this concealer quite a lot and I really do like it. I think it's a great like everyday concealer. It still gives you quite a lot of coverage, but it's affordable. The product lasts a really long time, like in the tube, like you actually get quite a lot out of it. But I will say that it does sort of crease on me under the eyes a little bit. It's definitely not my first choice if I'm going somewhere really, really important, but I do wear it quite a lot day to day. So I just put a little bit of the concealer on my chin and a little bit on the tip of my nose as well, where I wasn't getting as much coverage from the foundation as I wanted to. Now the coverage is looking pretty good. Like, I'm pretty happy with that amount. It still looks sort of natural, but it's not too cakey either. I'm going to use some of MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the color Light to set under my eyes. I'm actually going to use this on my damp sponge because I find this is a really nice way to apply this under your eyes. Because the Mineralized Skin Finishes, they start off as like a slurry or a cream and they're baked to set, so when you do sort of use a damper sponge or something like that, they sort of return to that creamier state, which is another reason why I really love the mineralized powders, because my skin is so dry. Like, anything that has a bit of hydration is great. I'm putting a little bit on my chin as well just to set that area. Because we have a more matte foundation today, I don't want to do too much setting, but I will do my chin and my smile lines here. I'm not going to do my nose just because I want to see how it holds up with a more matte foundation. So you can sort of see the coverage is looking pretty good. It has sunk in a little bit better on those areas that it was sitting badly in the pores. It's looking pretty smooth, but I think that's half the powder as well. Like, I put powder all here and that's the area that looks really nice at the moment. And I'm going to use a little bit of Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the color Medium Deep. Looks like that. It is definitely my favorite color to like bronze or contour with. Taking a tiny little bit of that. I'm not going to like contour per se, but I'm definitely going to warm up my skin just a little bit just to make the foundation sort of work a little bit better with my skin tone at the moment. And then for blush, I'm going to take a little bit of Mineralized blush in Cosmic Force. This is one of my favorite blushes of all time, especially if you are paler. It looks like nothing, like it looks like a brownie skin tone really, but honestly one of my favorite blushes of all time. Today for highlight, I'm going to use something a little bit different. I'm going to use the MAC Iridescent Pressed Powder in Sparkling Rose. This was part of the Fairy Whispers collection. It's like a pink based highlight. I was obsessed with it when it launched and I still am. I don't think you can get it anymore. They may release it in another collection. They often do that, but it is so beautiful. It's like a pink highlight with like an iridescent pearl to it. So beautiful. Alrighty, to finish, I am going to drench my face in Fix Plus. Alright, so checking back in on how it's all sitting, I'm actually pretty impressed with it. It's definitely looking better as it sits on the skin for longer. Alrighty, so it is currently 10:05. I am going to finish my makeup and then I will come back and let you guys know how it's going then. Alrighty guys, I am back. I have finished my makeup. It is now 2:20, so I've had the makeup on for a little while now. I have finished my makeup as well. I did film this tutorial. If you do want to see it, it will be on my channel soon. So if you want to see this makeup look, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. So far the makeup is holding up remarkably well. Like when I first applied it, I did not think it was going to sit really nicely at all on my skin. I thought as soon as I put blush and everything else on top of it, it was just going to crumble. I will say it is extremely matte. Like I haven't powdered all of my face. I've just powdered like under my eyes, my chin and my nose. No, I didn't even do my nose. So that sort of shows how matte it is, especially on a drier skin type. So I've had it on for like, what, 4 hours? I always forget when I start these videos. I really should write it down so I know, but so far it's sitting amazingly. Like it is crunching up a little bit on that part of my mouth and in my smile lines, which is just sort of normal, to be honest, for me. Like it does happen with most foundations, but it is happening a little bit more with this one, I guess, because it is matte and it doesn't have that moisture or that movability. Other than that, I am extremely impressed with it. It still isn't a full coverage foundation, but I definitely do like how it looks on my skin. Yes, so far I'm pretty impressed. I do really like the color. I think the color's quite good for me, which is crazy because I can never get a foundation that sort of matches me at Priceline or at the drugstore, whatever you want to call it. Alrighty, well I am going to leave this on as long as I possibly can for you guys, and then I will come back and update you as late as I can to let you know how it's wearing throughout the day. Alrighty, I am back. It is now 7:15. I could probably leave it on for long, but honestly I just want to be makeup free. You know how you get to that end of the night where you're just like, I just want to rip my lashes off, like. So I have had it on for a really long time now, like probably longer than I'd ever wear foundation. I don't honestly ever wear my foundation all day. Like I'll put it on in the morning and it'll be off by like 6 or 7. So it's probably about as long as I will wear it, and honestly it's looking really good. I'll zoom you in just so you can see what I'm talking about as I talk about it. So I don't know if you can see around my smile lines and in my chin, it has cracked up a bit, but it did that almost immediately, to be honest. Around my nose is looking a little bit cakey and a little bit questionable. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a little bit like chunky, I guess you could say. And yeah, when I touch it, it all comes off, so it's just like breaking up on my nose. A lot of foundations do this to me, but this one's sort of a little bit worse. Like, I don't know if you can see that. See all the foundation coming off, and you can see like my skin peeking through there particularly. That is more just when I touch it, like it just sort of transfers off onto my finger. I think, yeah, as long as, oh, rubbing it in sort of made it a little bit worse. Like usually I can just sort of like blend it back in and it sits okay. Other than that, I'm really impressed. Like it's sitting amazingly absolutely everywhere else. Like I don't have any issues with my forehead. It's not building up there, which it sometimes definitely does on me. Yeah, it's just sort of those smile lines and my nose and my chin, which are always my, you know, painful areas. So I guess it comes down to, would I recommend this foundation? Yes, I would recommend it to people that aren't quite as dry as me. For me, on a day like today, it's been okay because it's quite warm, but I think if it was winter or my skin wasn't as hydrated as it could be or as it sometimes is, it would look terrible. Like I think it would show all my texture. I think it would just sort of break up a lot. And it'd start flaking off by the end of the day, but at the moment it's okay. I definitely probably will wear it when it is really hot. I think it has really withstood shine very well. That little bit of oil on my nose that broke it up, it happens in a lot of foundations, and if it was a hot day I could just put a little bit of primer on my nose and I think that would sort of fix the problem. It isn't the most comfortable formula to wear for me. It does feel like a bit itchy and a bit tight, so for drier skin types sometimes that can happen when there isn't any moisture in the skin. You can just sort of feel like you have this like mask on your skin, which I really, really hate. I always prefer when a foundation is almost like sticky or creamy on the skin so that you feel nice and hydrated. It feels like you have a really beautiful moisturizer or like a face mask or something on, but that's just me. I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people want their foundation to sort of feel really, really dry. So I guess it's down to personal preference whether you like a drier foundation or you don't. Other than that, I'm really, really impressed with it. Definitely something that I'm going to wear again. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!